complex for this Co-op Superstores 2021 Senior A Hurling Championship encounter between Kanturk and Blarney. All games in this competition, and indeed the championship across all of the competitions in Cork, are important. But this one's particularly important tonight because it's pretty much a case of whoever wins goes through to the next round. And even if you lose tonight, there's still a way through because it's a group format and they've both had good starts. But it's important, and they'll want to, I suppose, set out their stall and get a statement win. Ger Cunningham is with me for this match. Ger, what are you expecting?
Yeah, Sheen, this game really has all the ingredients of being a very, very good game, very close game. Both Kanturk and Blarney will basically, will be very happy with their performances last weekend. They both had great victories, and it's always very important in the when your first round of your first game of the championship. If you can win your first game, it can set you up really for a good season. And both Kanturk and Blarney will really fancy their chances, I think, really to qualify out of the group. Whereas tonight will be a great opportunity for one of the two teams to qualify. Blarney scored 22 times last week, conceded 15. Kanturk scored 22 times and conceded 13 last week. So the facts are all the ingredients there that it's going to be a tight game.
Okay, well, we'll scan through the two teams, Kanturk and Blarney, as we approach throw-in time. A beautiful day is turning into a beautiful night in Mallow, and it's perfect conditions. I had a walk out on the pitch a couple of minutes ago, and it's like a carpet. It's magnificent. I've read articles about how much work actually goes into this pitch, the main pitch, and all the other pitches around here, so it's no surprise it's in such a good state. I guess the team news that jumps out immediately is that of the two changes that Kanturk have made to the team that was named. James Fitzpatrick is out and Alan Walsh is out. They're replaced by Lorcan McLaughlin and Colin Walsh respectively. Lorcan McLaughlin missed out last week because of injury, so no surprise that he's out. Alan Walsh, who got a goal last week, well, he's a bit of a loss.
Yeah, interesting changes. Oisin, Lorcan McLaughlin is not a surprise that he's come back in. Knowing Frank Flannery and probably the way that he likes to set up a team, Lorcan is one of the most experienced players. One of the players that they'll be looking for big leadership performance from Lorcan tonight. Will probably go into the half-back line in some shape or form and might even play as what we sometimes call a +1 or a sweeper or an extra defender. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. And young Colin Walsh comes in, 18 years of age, played last week and did really, really well. One of the number of good prospects that Kanturk are developing over and have been developing over the last number of years. A lot expected of young Colin, and again, he's played last week, did very well, so it ain't a surprise to see him back in there either.
I was reading an article by Dennis Hurley in the Evening Echo this week, and by his calculation there's 12 Kanturk players involved in the two codes, hurling and football. At this stage of the competition, at this stage of the season, does that make any difference, or is it only really later when that might start to count against them?
Yeah, I think it's okay at the moment. I think obviously the first round of club games was football, and now that they've had 2 weeks of hurling, as you say, that's a big number of guys playing playing hurling and football. That's a big ask as the season goes on for teams to try win both of them. I think it'll affect maybe teams later on. I think tonight, Kanturk would have the benefit of a second week hurling, so that won't be an excuse tonight. But maybe later on it might kick in.
What about Blarney? You take Paul O'Leary out of that team, and it's a very, very young side, and they showed last week they've got gas, outscoring Fermoy 8 points to 1-1 or thereabouts in the final stages of that match.
Yeah, as you say, a very, very young team, very an awful lot of very good prospects in that Blarney team. Obviously, they're backbone by two Cork seniors, Mark Coleman, an experienced Cork senior now at this stage. Shane Barrett came on this year and had a huge effect. Padraig Power had an unbelievable season with the under-20s and capped it all with some great performances in the All-Ireland finals and that sort of stuff. So very, very young team. Young Declan Hannon as well was on the under-20 panel. Dennis McSweeney, again a young lad, 18 years of age, was a very, very good prospect indeed. Alan McAvoy. So all the guys there, as you say, take out Paul. They're a young side. They've been building over the years. They're on their way up, and it's no surprise to see that this club has been developing, and they are where they are today with high hopes of going on.
I appreciate it. Sounds like someone's getting their head shaved in the background. They're not. It's just an issue with the PA system, which they will solve. These two clubs have had good success in the last couple of years. Kanturk won a double in 2017. They won the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship along with the Intermediate Football Championship. They've both had good runs to Croke Park in the various competitions over the years. Of course, last year, Blarney won the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship. They're two successful and driven clubs, Ger.
Yeah, they are. And Kanturk were in the semi-final last year against Charleville. It was a game that potentially or possibly they could have won. They were very disappointed afterwards, and that they felt they had a great opportunity. Charleville went on and won the competition, and now we're playing seniors. So sometimes it's a very thin line between having success and just being just that bit short. Blarney, on the other hand, have come up from Premier Intermediate. This is their first year where they are this year, and again they're building. They're used to success, Oisín. They've won a lot of matches, so it's all ingredients to be a very, very tight game.
Okay, we'll have the anthem then. It's the Co-op Superstores Senior A Hurling Championship clash of Kanturk and Blarney. We're almost ready to go. Just in case you're only tuning into the Cork Senior A Hurling Championship for the first time, Blarney in red, Kanturk in white and green, and for a top class match you need a top class referee and team of officials. That's certainly what we have tonight. Cathal McAllister is the man in the middle. Yeah,
very experienced in the county referee. Likes to let the game flow, but at the same time won't be afraid to make the big calls if he has to make them, if he sees anything that he shouldn't be seeing.
That's hurling speak for will allow killings, lets the game flow. Blarney and Kanturk scrapping for the first possession. Who's going to get it? Trying to pick it up as McSweeney got 3 points last week. This can be a particularly blusty venue. It's not this evening. It's very calm and very still, which is good for both teams. I don't think any player likes playing in the wind. They can handle the rain. They don't particularly like the wind.
No,
Kanturk
great conditions.
battling away, getting the ball in hand. A suspicion of steps. Cathal McAllister lets it go. Here's the first long delivery in, but Blarney have an extra man back.
Yeah, and as anticipated, I think Lorcan McLaughlin is going to go back into towards defence at the moment. Should we just let the game settle and see for a minute? But it's a style of play that Frank Flannery likes to do and likes to play. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops from here. First chance for Blarney.
Yeah, recycling the ball out to McSweeney, who, as we say, got 3 last week. Has he got 1 already tonight? No, he hasn't. First wide. Grantis, the goalkeeper, goes long. Lithuanian heritage, but from the very start has been with Kanturk. Played underage all the way through. They're being forced to ride the gauntlet here. Can they get through? It's a good ball into the forward line. It's a really good take out in front. Colin Walsh lets one go, and Colin Walsh gets the score.
That's an excellent score, Oisín. Very, very fast ball into Colin Walsh, who's a difficult man to mark. He's a big, tall young lad. Again, cut the ball and off his right side, struck a good score. Good start for Kanturk.
Very good score from Colin Walsh, the youngest of the Walsh brothers. Played minor football and hurling for Cork last year. Multi-talented guy. Actually won a Munster under-20 football title with Cork. Kanturk with a number of dual stars, a number of talented players. Blarney the exact same. Kanturk run it out and it's left behind. Blarney look to equalise. Looks like it's a good shot from Power. No, it's not. It's a second wide for Blarney. Padraig Power will be disappointed with that.
Yeah, he did well though. He had good pressure from the Blarney forwards. Padraig Power turned it over, but maybe under a small bit of pressure, had a bit more time and maybe a bit of composure. He probably should have popped it over the bar.
They're not afraid to run the ball, are they? But they've lost it a couple of times. Ryan Walsh losing it on that occasion. Now driving forward is Barrett. You know all about him from Cork. Barrett hits a third wide for Blarney.
Yeah, very good again. Ryan Walsh, who has probably moved back this year to playing full back. Yeah, it's a new position for him. He normally is a midfielder, but they must look at maybe strengthening their full back line. He's gone back in there. Likes to run with the ball, as you say, maybe footballing style. Shane Barrett got the turnover, but got hooked as he struck the ball, and the ball went wide.
On my notes I have written first year as a dull back. That's obviously a misspelling. First year as a full back. He's anything but dull, is Ryan Walsh. Kanturk looking for a score, a second one. Yet to concede, that maybe owes a bit to luck. It's Colin Walsh who's taking on the defence again. He's at a tight angle, makes a better angle for himself, but that skips back to the goalkeeper who's left it behind. Colin Walsh trying to dig it out again. Blarney getting bodies around there. Colin McAllister just watching on. Blarney get it in hand and they'll clear it through McSweeney. That's an effort gone a begging for Kanturk. That's one they really should have got something out of.
Again, a great opportunity for Colin Walsh there to go. He rounded his man, but Paul O'Leary never gave up the ghost and got the hook in and averted the danger.
Darren Brown got that one clear, spent a few years with the Cork Seniors a couple of years back. It's a shot from a long way out and it's gone over. Kanturk double their lead.
Excellent score again. Ball broke over from midfield up to the half back line. Long range score there over the bar. Fine score for Kanturk.
I think Paul Hallisey, the goalkeeper, might be having some kind of issue here. Whatever it is, it's okay. Goes short to Paul O'Leary, who managed the team last year. Crowley. They tried to go through the lines, but unfortunately for Blarney, I think it was Patrick Crowley who fumbled it, and it's a line ball to Kanturk.
Yeah, Kanturk have gone short every time so far. Rushing from the puckouts, obviously, so kind of a with the game that they're. Blarney have gone short in all their puckouts so far. Obviously, with the extra defender, they're content to walk the ball through the lines.
That's some line ball. Keeper lets it go wide though. First wide of the night for Kanturk.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes you take a sideline ball like that, when they come off and they get a score, they look fantastic, but when they don't, sometimes it could be a nice 60-70 puck out down the wing.
Hallisey, who's one of the more experienced members of this Blarney team, in or around 28, 29. Kanturk look to sweep it up through Liam Cashman. Blarney have it back. It's gone out over the line. Kanturk line ball.
Sometimes you see that on a sideline ball, when in a close contest, you see Frankie Flannery down the sideline. Here has the Kanturk lads well fired up for this evening.
Lorcan O'Neill, whose nickname is Figo, will take this. I don't think he got the nickname because he was once nutmegged by John O'Shea, just like Figo was. That was a good collection of the ball by Sheehy. Long goes Darren Brown. Chasing after it is McAvoy. McAvoy does the right thing and clears it, but only as far as a Kanturk man. Mark O'Leary. O'Leary fancies this. And O'Leary hits a second wide for Kanturk. Hallisey gets it going very quickly. That's probably the first time we've seen a direct enough ball into the Blarney forward line. Shane Mulcahy slipped it back wonderfully to Hannon. Hannon lets it go. To be fair, Kanturk got around him and forced him into spilling it. Blarney should make the extra man tell here. It's collected well. Now it's Mark Coleman. Coleman stays cool under pressure, but then takes too much out of it. It's a free in. Well, that's a bit of an odd one because he didn't move, so he didn't take steps in a sense.
Well, that's a very harsh call. I think Colin McAllister blew Mark Owen for the ball. He was obviously held both sides by hands around him. He couldn't obviously move, couldn't take steps. He was definitely inhibited, and the crowd here would obviously thought it was a free for Blarney, but in turn Cahill turned around and gave a free for Kanturk. Opportunity here for Kanturk to put another score on the board.
Brian O'Sullivan nailed 7 frees last week. Scored 9 points overall. 2 All-Ireland under-20 titles and underage again next year.
Yeah, he's very good, very, very promising young man playing, very good hurler in the middle of the field, and a nice free to start off tonight from.
O'Sullivan strikes that one well and strikes it over. Hallisey farms it long. That's beautifully taken, a lovely touch. Will he get the score? It's Crowley. He actually goes for the pass. That's a really good catch. Mulcahy looks to recycle it. In to help him out is Keith Costello. Kanturk are defending frantically. Still a Blarney ball. It's still Costello. And Costello is really uncomfortable as he shoots and is forced to hit it wide. A fourth wide for Blarney. And that's as much about Kanturk's hassling and harrowing as it is the maybe inaccuracy of Blarney.
Yeah, very good defending again by Kanturk there. And obviously, there's not a lot of space there. They're marking very tightly. Just from Blarney's point of view now, they're 8 minutes gone. They'd like to just settle into the game, and they could do with maybe getting an score or two to settle them into the game.
That's a fantastic catch by Ian Walsh. Colin Walsh is out in front, takes it. Always an awkward one to nail when your back is to the goal and you have to pivot, and he didn't get it on that particular occasion. It's a third wide for Kanturk.
He's still on Colin. He's after getting on 3 or 4 balls. Any balls that goes in there, if they can avoid the sweeper when the ball is played in, he's obviously the main target man, and he's he has started well.
Just to confirm, Ian Walsh is one of the famous Walsh brothers, 5-0. That would be some score if it was to go over. Blarney looking for their first. Well, if you're forced to wait, you might as well get a good one when you do end the drought, and that was an excellent strike.
Excellent strike on Paddy Power, as you say. Blarney gone long for the last couple of puckouts. Paddy Power, who was kind of playing as a deep line full forward out on the half forward line, out on the sideline off his left hand. Very, very good score.
Grantis goes long. He is some puck of a ball. As I say, no wind to speak of in Mallow tonight. Here's Power again. That was a nice flick. He'll tell you he did it on purpose. Power looking for 2 in a row. And getting it. He's finding his rhythm, as are his team. Now, did he mean that little flick?
Oh, he definitely meant that. That was good. The ball came into it. Just a little touch. Touched it away from Darren Brown, and a really good score.
He made Darren Brown disappear. That joke doesn't work because it's Darren Brown, I think, is the magician's name. Anyway, going after it is McAvoy. That's going to be intercepted, but not kept in play. Line ball for Blarney.
Just a game, just getting a bit to settle down. Oisin, obviously, as I say, Kanturk playing with a kind of an extra kind of third midfielder that allows Larkon to drop back and pick up Paddy Power, and then Darren Brown back in the pocket on top of the D. So that's the kind of style that we'd expect him tonight. And then when the chance appears, go along to either Aidan Walsh or to Colin Walsh inside in the full forward line.
It's more than possible we could see these two back in the final. I know there's other good teams and they'll enter the conversation as well, but we could be looking at a dress rehearsal for a final.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight.
Yeah, both these will fancy their chances to go through. A big performance tonight is what they'll be looking for, and a win will be a bonus.
Who can dig it out? So much of hurling is about these rucks now. Shane Barrett shows his quality. His first of the night.
Yeah, good score again from Shane Barrett, playing out kind of deep. He's picked at 15, but definitely playing out towards the middle of the field. Got involved in the ruck ball, passed it out to himself and off his left hand. Great score over the bar. Great hands from Aidan Walsh there.
Yeah, Aidan Walsh. Out it goes to Liam Cashman. He's got time, he's got space, but has he got a point? The answer is no. It's a fourth wide for Kanturk.
Good pressure from Blarney there. Obviously, Aidan Walsh won a great pass to Brian O'Sullivan. Brian O'Sullivan to Liam Cashman. Unfortunately for Liam, the ball sailed wide.
Blarney going a bit more direct now, and they're pushing players up as well. It's batted down, might fall for Power. He's just beaten to it. Good sweeping up there by Brown. Kanturk. Blarney beginning to find their rhythm. McSweeney. Mark O'Leary. Hits it wide. 5 wides apiece.
Yeah,
and only 12 minutes gone.
Just taking both sides, just taking a bit to settle down to find their feet, find the rhythm of the game. As I said, Kanturk playing with a +1 back, and Blarney maybe trying to come to terms with that system.
It's a good hand pass forward. They have men inside. He'll go himself. Just put too much, maybe took too much out of it. Ian Walsh, I think that was.
Yeah, again, opportunity, good ball through. And, if you're playing with only 5 forwards, you must run the ball through, and had the opportunity, made the breakthrough. Maybe could have given it to Aidan Walsh, who might have been in a more central position. Again, good defending from Blarney. Got back, got the hook in, and the ball sailed wide.
Bit of a ball to nothing there. Chasing back is Lorcan O'Neill. Confident stick pass. two Blarney men waiting. One of them was Alan McAvoy. And Kanturk rob it back. Too casual from Blarney. And now they have it back. Great take out in front. Lovely little flick. Great corner back play. But Blarney get it back. Power went backwards to centre back Peter Philpott. It's 1-on-1 inside. Chasing after it is Mark O'Leary. Kanturk have to be careful here. Mark O'Leary doing his best to get the ball back, but he can't. Back it goes to Grantis in goal. He's going to be pressurised by Keith Costello, but he slots it out to Ryan Walsh. Ryan Walsh has an option there in Liam Cashman. That's the option he takes. Cashman shows a bit of a heavy touch, although it wasn't a particularly good ball to him. It is a line ball to Blarney.
Yeah, poor ball there from Ryan Walsh. We had plenty of time. We had Aidan Walsh was up in front of us here crying for a long ball, but if you're going to give the 20 or 30 yard pass, it must go to hand. Liam Cashman was put under some pressure there from the bad pass from Ryan. Got turned over, and a sideline ball to Blarney. Now probably within range for Mark Coleman maybe to have a go of it.
Mark Coleman, who nailed a wonder line ball in the Fitzgibbon Cup.
He's done a few of them over the years, Oisin. He's really, really good. A fantastic line ball taker.
He's got good air on that. Is it curling back inside? It is! It's wonderful! It's Mark Coleman! Even the Kanturk crowd are applauding that. That was magical.
Yeah, we were just behind it with a brilliant view of it. The ball it started outside the right hand post, but typical Coleman, as you suggested, in Fitzgibbon Cup finals, he's done that under the most severest of pressure 2 years ago up in UCD in the final or the semi-final. Got a majestic point. DC, sorry, DC. It was DCU.
That pitch is like this. It's really exposed.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant score. And he's done that in the past, and it's, as you say, when it comes off, they're absolutely brilliant scores. So that might settle Mark into the game. He hasn't been in the game too much up to now, trying to find his position there, kind of playing midfield more so than playing wing forward, and that's a good score from a Blarney point of view.
That's intercepted. Brian O'Sullivan. Blarney outnumbering Kanturk at the back, and taking it away is Paul O'Leary. Lovely switch. Great ball to Alan McAvoy. Does he fancy it from here? McAvoy looks to be drifting to the keeper's right and wide.
Just a pity there. So just a poor execution from Alan McAvoy, who had plenty of time, but great vision from Mark Coleman, who pivoted over, turned and hit a lovely 50-yard pass over his shoulder out to Alan McAvoy, who unfortunately put it wide. So when we get to the first water break, 4 points to 3 in favour of Blarney, and 5 wides each.
It's kind of been a strange game. There has been moments of quality, there's been passages of quality, but then some of the shooting has been a little bit off. Is that plainly and simply down to the pressure that backs are putting on, or is it just, it's the second game of the championship and guys aren't quite at their peak yet?
I suppose it's the second game, but obviously they have plenty of hurling. Some of the wides, there were opportunities for scores, Oisin, that probably should have got. I think just maybe at times both teams are maybe kind of settling into the situation where they're both going to have an extra defender, and how they counteract that. If you have it, you must use the ball if you're going to play it through the lines. And Blarney have got. You look at Mark Coleman played midfield there, probably one of the best players in the country at playing the ball through the lines, and they're going to be looking to get Shane Barrett and Paddy Power on the ball as much as possible. Kanturk, who are probably dictating the system by bringing Larkin back to midfield or into the half back line, are striking it long, trying to find Colin Wild. So it's maybe they'd be better off to maybe play through the lines, but obviously their target is to get the ball long into Colin Walsh.
Blarney leading by 4 points to 3. We're about to start the second quarter. Sometimes it suits a team when the water break comes along, sometimes it doesn't. Is it kind of 50-50 for these two? Does it? Yeah,
nothing obvious here. Yeah, I would say nothing obvious. I think maybe more so for Blarney to settle into the game. They would have expected, I think, once Larkin was going to be playing on the team, that he would have lined out maybe as that extra kind of defender. So maybe just a chance for him to regroup.
Larkin McLaughlin picking up Dennis McSweeney at the moment. No surprise there, I guess. It's a real battle zone out there. And the ball is won by, I think, Ian Walsh. Kanturk trying to make an angle for a shot. Good pass. Is it a good shot? It is. 4 points apiece.
Yeah, good work then by Ian Walsh. O'Sheen won a good ball again, but did a simple thing, give the ball to the lad in a better position, and a very good score.
It's Lorcan McLaughlin. Those Kanturk numbers are quite hard to see on the far
very difficult
side.
to see the back of the jerseys. It's not easy.
Even someone as recognisable as Lorcan was hard to pick out there.
Yeah,
him and Ian Walsh are wearing red helmets, and they both have kind of the double digits. Kanturk of a line ball. I think it might actually be a free. Brian
free
O'Sullivan.
ball for it, but yeah, I think Lorcan got pushed in the back, and Brian O'Sullivan has a chance from 75, 80 metres out now at this stage to put Kanturk back ahead again.
Yeah, you could see by the way he was addressing the ball, it wasn't what you call a line ball stance. Brian O'Sullivan, who definitely has the distance and on most occasions has the accuracy, and this is one of those occasions.
Yeah, great score again. Very good striker, and very good. He's had two very difficult frees now and two long-range frees, and struck the ball really well. Two very good scores.
17 minutes and 37 seconds gone. It's Kanturk by 5 points to 4. I was about to say that's a good catch, but he did well to kind of break it out in front. If you're a defender, the first thing and the most important thing is to get it out in front of you. There's a real scramble. These scrambles, fascinating in their own way. It's a free in for Blarney. I think there was either a tug of a jersey or a tug of a hurley. Sometimes in those rucks it's actually hard to see what a foul is being called for, and the referee is very, very close to it, so maybe he's seeing things that we're not, perhaps.
Yeah, he certainly gave the signal there, Oisín, that obviously there was a pull back, either, as you say, a hurley or a jersey. Very hard to see it from a difficult situation here when it's so far away, but obviously Cahill was there right in front. Chance for Blarney teaming it up.
Power taps it over. 5 points apiece. Where is this going to go? Walsh tried to collect it, he couldn't. Dirty ball collected by Hannon. Declan Hannon, not that Declan Hannon. McAvoy. That's a really good catch by Keith Costello. Costello's away. Can Blarney get something more than a point? It's Power. They'll settle for I was about to say they'll settle for a point, but again, great defending.
Again, great defending. I think it was Brian O'Sullivan at that stage. I think got in the hook. I think he was looking for another score, but it was Lorcan O'Neill. I think just got the hurley in, and that saved the score. Turned over again.
Costello, the 29-year-old forward, he works incredibly hard. He tried to open up Kanturk there, and for the most part he did, but it's just a last-ditch block preventing the score going over. Can they prevent this score going over? Well, they don't have to, because it's hit wide by Mark Coleman. 7th wide for Blarney.
Yeah, Mark will be disappointed with that. Paddy Power did really well to win the ball back and turn it over. Gave it to Mark on his right hand. Probably hit it off balance or on his back foot, and did be disappointed that went wide.
That's an extremely good take. That looked like a throw, but they get away with it. Liam Cashman, stick past to Walsh. Colin Walsh, he's got pace. He's got the beating of this back line. Colin Walsh charging down the line, chased down by Shane Barrett. Barrett does brilliantly. That's excellent defending. McSweeney was fouled after he tried to get around McLaughlin, and it's a free out.
Yeah, going back 30 seconds there, really, Shane Barrett coming back from his position in the half-hour line stroke midfield, chased Colin Walsh back onto his own 21-metre line, turned him over. One of the really great strengths that Shane Barrett brings to his game, that his work rate and his tackling and his turnover is really good. He's not just a scoring forward, he really works hard, and Lorcan fouled Dennis McSweeney and a chance for Mark Coleman.
Shane Barrett still only 19 or thereabouts. Mark Coleman, he's got a spectacular line ball. Can he add a very decent free? It drifts out to the keeper's right and wide. It's an 8th wide. Shane Barrett doing so well there, obviously featured for the Cork seniors this season. Yeah,
absolutely. Shane really is a great prospect. Had a fantastic year. Unfortunately, with his senior involvement, missed out on the under-20 All-Ireland, but no doubt one for the future, and is involved here again.
Kanturk coming forward. It's another, I was about to say aimless ball. It was aimed well. It was just they didn't have the bodies in there to win it. McAvoy sweeped it up. Away it goes from Crowley. But that's another aimless one. Whatever he was trying to do there, it didn't work, and it's a line ball to Kanturk, but they'd much rather have just got the ball away quickly.
Yeah, it'd be frustrating at times, even from a spectator's point of view, to watching it here, that unless the ball is, delivered accurately inside to the forward line, it looks as if, that aimless balls are going in, and sometimes that happens when you have an extra defender inside there, and this is where they need to start playing the ball and working the ball out through the lines.
Coming forward is Coleman. He's got the ball under his spell. Lovely wrist. Declan Hannon goes for it. And Declan Hannon gets it. Good score for him. His first of the night.
Yeah, again, Blarney win the ball, and to get the ball to Mark Coleman in midfield, his vision will see the right pass. He had a chance to maybe to pop or go it himself. He has missed two, but he said, no, I'll leave it off. Passed it to Declan Hannon, who got the score.
Kanturk trying to respond. 6 points to 5. Blarney lead. Collected again by the Blarney defence. That looked like a foul on Crowley. Referee playing advantage. A good advantage as well. A pull along the ground. You so rarely see it at top-class hurling level. McSweeney fouled. Brian O'Sullivan got to him. McSweeney, did he make a meal of it?
I know.
We don't do that in hurling, obviously.
No. I think he his first touch left him down. He was lucky to get it before it went over the line. Got it back and had a little nice sidestep and caught Brian O'Sullivan. Yeah, I think it was definitely a free.
Ronan Byrne, the Blarney manager this year, took over from Paul O'Leary this season, having served as a selector in the past. Donlow Mahoney coaching them. He was involved with the Cork under-20s this season and last, both All-Ireland winning seasons. Was a selector under John Myler. He's a busy man. He's also the vice principal in Christians, which is now a hurling school. Mark Coleman launches it long and puts it over. I should clarify, that was a joke. I know it's rugby and hurling now, just in case the Irish Examiner start getting letters of complaint.
Great score from Mark Coleman there. Again, he learned from the previous free in a similar position, Oisin, and brought the ball in lovely from right to left. Another good score from Mark.
Who can sweep it up around the middle. It goes to red rather than white and green. Allowing it to beat him was Mulcahy. I nearly think it was on purpose. Blarney, can they make it 2 scores in a row? That looks like a very good effort from Keith Costello. His first of the night.
Again, good score. Blarney seem to be kind of settling into kind of getting to the rhythm of and maybe coming to terms with the extra body in that defence, and they're working the ball a bit better, getting the guys in the best position available on the ball, and a good score from Keith Costello.
Liam Cashman will launch this. Still an under-20 Liam Cashman. Can he turn and get his strike away? It's Walsh. I beg your pardon, it's actually Liam O'Keefe. Ian Walsh, long delivery, good score.
Yeah, that's a bit better shooting from Kanturk. They worked the ball better. Liam Cashman up the wing, back in the centre. Larkin was thinking of maybe having a pot himself, passed it to Ian Walsh and put it over the bar.
Great catch. That's a little bit loose from centre back Darren Brown. Might get away with it. To his credit, he wins it back. Kanturk finding it really difficult to get the ball up the park, but they are working it through the lines well despite the pressure. Now we might see something a little bit more direct, but the referee gives a free in.
Yeah, that's probably a bit better from Kanturk. As you say, they've been a football club as well. They've been well used to playing this system, trying to walk the ball to the man in a better position. Got the free, drew the free, and an opportunity now to close the gap.
5 minutes to half time. 8 points to 6 in favour of Blarney. Will it be 8 points to 7 after this?
I think Blarney will be very happy with that score at the moment, Oisin. Like they were slow to settle, had 4 or 5 wides that they would have expected maybe to go over. So the last maybe 5 or 6 minutes they've really kind of settled into the game again. But an opportunity here for Brian O'Sullivan to narrow the gap to a point.
He's such a solid striker of a ball. As we say, perfect conditions in Mallow tonight. It's a still and calm evening. O'Sullivan sends it sailing through the night sky and over the crossbar.
That's a lovely strike of the ball from O'Sullivan in the midfield again. Difficult free, but split the post over the black spot.
3 frees for him tonight so far. It's a little bit loose. Can Turk get it back? Blarney doing their best to turn it over, and they have. That's wonderful work, Mark O'Leary. O'Leary tries to get his pass away. Still with Blarney. Here's Mark Coleman. Coleman taps it over. Perhaps he could have got it to Costello, but he said, you know what, I'll just take the point while it's on. His third, he's first from play.
Yeah, good score from Mark Coleman. Went through the middle, played off the shoulder and off his right hand. Had an opportunity maybe to go for it, but decided against it and put the ball over the bar. And Blarney are coming again and have an advantage here. They have a free if it doesn't go over.
Well, it's not a wide, it is a free. Good advantage from Cathal McAllister, who's controlling the game quite well.
Yeah, he's trying to let it flow, Oisín, as best he possibly can. But obviously there's frees when there's high tackles, that are frees, and you have to blow for them. So, but at the same time, he's trying to give the advantage, and he'll let it flow. And if it doesn't work out, he'll put it back. Blarney are good to run at the defenders as well. You have when you have Coleman, when you have Shane Barrett, Paddy Power, all good attacking and going forward. So they sometimes can drag the free to themselves. So again, I think they'll be very happy the way the game has gone in the last 15 minutes for them, and they have a chance now to push it out to 2 points coming up to half time.
It is Mark Coleman who's receiving some running repairs there for Blarney. Or Mark O'Leary, I beg your pardon. I was off the mark there. Mark Coleman. Puts it over. His fourth. Mark O'Leary is back up and running again. Mark Coleman gets the point. A good passage of play for Blarney, who now lead by 3. Kanturk collect the loose one. That's a really good take. That looks good. No, it's wide. They were unlucky. A 6th wide by my count. Keith Costello. Costello gets it forward by any means necessary. It's taken well by Sheehy. Kanturk have it. Lorcan McLaughlin. It's a foot race. Chasing after it is Liam O'Keefe. O'Keefe keeps it alive. In hot pursuit is Sean Crowley. O'Keefe. That's risky when there's so many red jerseys back there. Slips out of the hand of Hannon. He'll try and regather under pressure here from Liam Cashman. Free in for Kanturk.
Yeah, definite free there. Liam Cashman, who had won the ball, flicked the ball away, was pulled back. Hurley grabbed out of his hand by Declan Hannon, and going back to the cross ball there. Thought was the right ball to do, Oisín. That there was a lot of bodies in around the place. The execution mightn't have been the best, but definitely the pass across the goal, if it came off, the scoring opportunity was there. So an important free now at this stage for Brian O'Sullivan. Just coming up to 30 seconds before half time. Blarney have gone 3 ahead, and so Brian needs to get this one to bring the game back to a 2-point game.
Big weekend of hurling action on the Irish Examiner, as Brian O'Sullivan puts it over. A 4th free for him in the game. 2 points between them coming up to the break. Blarney by 2. That's an excellent pass. McSweeney. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward. Just slipped under its intended target. Kanturk tidy it up. They really are on the dark side of the moon over there, aren't they? It's like looking at a different pitch. Grantis, who hasn't been beaten yet tonight, neither keeper has. He's got some puck of a ball. Slips out of the hand of McAvoy. Is that a foul? Referee says no. Kanturk end up getting a line ball.
Yeah, that's again a long delivery from Kanturk out in the field from the goalkeeper, playing out as a sweeper across on 21-metre line. When there's an extra defender up there, Oisín, like it's a 2v1 situation. The Kanturk forward, Aidan Walsh, in that situation, was unlucky not to catch the ball. Possibly was fouled in that there was a push in the back. Paul O'Leary, cleared his lines out over the sideline. Aidan Walsh, again, has an opportunity now to, no doubt he'll go for we'll try to take his score from the sideline.
Aidan Walsh, a former Cork dual star, didn't catch it right. And that will be half time. 10 points to 8 Blarney lead. What have you made of the game so far, Ger Cunningham?
Yeah, interesting game. I think it took a while for it to settle down, Sheen. The Kanturk system is a bit different from what they've been doing last year. It's it's a new style under Frankie Flannery. That maybe took Blarney a while to settle into it. They took a while to settle into the game because first 4 or 5 balls, their shooting was a bit off. They've settled into the game. I think they'll be more than happy to finish up going in 2 points at half time. There's nothing between the two teams really here. At times, maybe the execution, playing with an extra fender each, when that goes down, it doesn't look the greatest. But I think if the team to keep the composure, work the ball through the lines, take the opportunities if they come, I think they'll come out on top.
Kanturk had a 121 to 13 point win over Bandon last week, so they're coming into this one with a bit of confidence, but they are 2 points down at the break, but it is only 2 points. Blarney also won last week against Fermoy, so they're both, I suppose, looking for the win tonight that would almost guarantee their passage to the knockout stages. A goal, and this seems like a silly statement, but it's kind of that tight, a goal will be huge in this game.
Yeah, there's been very few chances up to now. I think, I suppose Kanturk would have had a couple of chances, but put that down to good defending and good hooking and blocking by the Blarney defence to stop the Kanturk from getting those scores. Certainly you would think there's probably more to come from the Blarney scenario, that Paddy Power has got 3, Mark Coleman has got 4, Shane Barnett has got 1, so maybe a bit more to come from Barnett in the second half as the game opens up. If he can get on a bit more ball, he could be the difference. He might be the difference at the end of the day.
Okay, for now, Ger, thank you very much. You will still see the pictures. You might not hear the sound. It is half-time in the Co-op Superstores Senior A Hurling Championship clash of Kanturk and Blarney. It's Blarney who lead by 2, 10 points to 8. As I say, you'll still see the pictures, but you won't hear us till we're back for second half commentary. Stay with us. We're about to start the second half of this Co-op Superstores 2021 Senior A Hurling Championship encounter between Kanturk and Blarney. Both of them winning last week against Fermoy and Bandon respectively. In truth, you would expect the two of these teams to come out of this group, even though Bandon would be very, very decent as well, as would Fermoy be. But I think, Ger, it's fair to say that both of these would be disappointed if they weren't to make the knockout stage.
Absolutely. I think whoever wins tonight will give themselves a great opportunity to maybe go straight through to the semi-final. I say Blarney, looking back in the first half, 10 points to 8 up, 10 wides. So obviously they'll be looking maybe to get the, if you've got their shooting boots on, they could be further ahead. But interesting third quarter now was obviously an interesting part of the game. So let's see what happens from here.
Blarney in the red, Kanturk in the white and green. Charging forward like a bull is Colin Walsh. He's been excellent so far. A little bit too much zip on that pass, trying to clean it up as Mark Coleman. It is one back, and that was brilliantly done by Ian Walsh. Good take. I think that's O'Keefe on the far side. Works it well to the shooter, who hits it wide, a first wide in the second half.
Yeah, difficult opportunity there for Kanturk. O'Sheen out on the sideline. Probably not the best decision to go for the point from that far out.
And it's another wide for Blarney. The wide count totting up. That is one thing both of these teams, regardless of what the result will be tonight. And remember, it obviously can end in a draw because it's a group stage at the moment. That is one thing they'll both want to tidy up on. And there's perfect conditions for hurling here tonight, as we're just seeing now. No, we're not. That's wide. It's a bad wide, but it was good pressure put on by Dennis McSweeney. McSweeney getting back, just making sure that the shot wasn't clean from Liam O'Keefe. Mulcahy did well, but he lost it then. Kanturk have it back. They've got a free man, but they can't get it to him. That's really intense tackling. Paul Walsh had nowhere to go. To be fair, Kanturk used the ball well. As you say, maybe that's the footballing background, the fact that they can play that kind of game and passing out of tackles.
Yeah,
and all that.
it's definitely from a point of view, they seem to be going into the tackle rather than trying to avoid a tackle or moving the ball. They're happy to go into the tackle and then try offload from there. But I think both teams, Oisin, will be disappointed that we're heading up towards the 20 wides in total for the game. And one tactical move I think that I think Kanturk have made in the second half, Ryan Walsh has moved out after Shane Barrett and has gone out towards the midfield and leaving space inside. So Kanturk maybe making the switch and trying to get more out of Ryan Walsh out midfield.
Tomorrow a game you'll definitely be interested in. St Finbar is taking on Erin's Own in the Premier Senior Hurling Championship. That is live through the Irish Examiner social media channels. Patrick Mulcahy will be talking you through that. Erin's Own, the most stubborn team in the Premier Senior Hurling Championship is what I call them.
Thanks, Oisin. Yeah, we're expecting a fantastic victory last week for them over Blackrock, and that's a really has set them up really for a potentially very good championship. They've got to the semi-final last year. We're unlucky not to get to the final. They've started really well. That's a big victory, and they'll be going in, all guns blazing tomorrow night to try to take the bars out as well and give themselves an opportunity with a game against Charleville to come that they would expect to win, with an opportunity to get to the semi-final. So, two teams in good form. So, looking forward to a good game tomorrow night.
We're about to get back underway here. I spoke to Martin Bowen after the game last week. And I was kind of curious to know, given the way Cork City has grown out and even Middleton is expanding and all the urban areas are expanding, are they still a country club where they are? I said, do you still consider yourselves a country club? He said, very much so. Yeah. And the Bear agreed as well. So, but it's just there's such a build-up of houses and all that around.
Yeah,
there,
and that's going to be the case for the next number of years. There's a lot of houses planned and are going to be built in that sort of area. And no doubt Erin's Own will be looking to bring on the young fellas and get a supply of young lads coming through. As well as SARS, so going forward, there'll be a lot of development down that part of the world, so they may not be a country club for too much longer.
So many clubs, their dynamic is changing because of the way the country is changing. Anyway, we'll get back to that because that's a wider discussion. Is this going to be a wide?
Then I went for the sideline ball. I didn't.
Blarney on the attack here. Shane Barrett, he's felled, and it's a free into Blarney.
Yeah, good disguise and good dummy from Shane Barrett there. The ball broke down onto his favourite left side, went to attack Paul Walsh, and Paul stuck out the hurley in the hand, brought him down, but I don't think it was too malicious. He's drawn the yellow card for the tackle. Kanturk have started well in the second half. This is probably Blarney's first opportunity. They've had one wide. Chance for Coleman here to put him 2 ahead again.
Mark Coleman lining this one up. By his standards, this will be an easy effort. 1 between them. Is that wide? It is. I jinxed him. You could tell by the way he stepped into the strike that he just wasn't going to catch it right.
Yeah, that'll be disappointing. They've Mark has missed 2. They've Paddy Power as a backup there as well, and maybe Paddy's taking the inside freeze more or less than rather than the ones than the ones out further out. But Mark will be very disappointed from that point of view. And that's Blarney's 12th wide of the game as far as I'm concerned.
It can be dangerous to hit the ball across the face of your own goal, but when you've got Pops Crowley running onto it, generally you're okay. Oh, I'm going to stop complimenting guys because every time I do they make a mistake. Coleman gets back, can't get it into his hand first time. He'll take another couple of attempts at it. Good stick pass to Paddy Power, as he's probably better known. It's another wide.
Yeah, again, Coleman getting on the ball though is when he gets looking for it, he's looking for Paddy Power or Shane Barrett to obviously to see if he can get them on the ball. So Blarney will be looking for Coleman to get on more of the ball in the second half.
Really good take by Shane Barrett. Eyes up the posts and hits it across the face of goal and wide.
I think both Blarney and Kanturk definitely like their shooting boots at home in both their venues tonight. Blarney, I think, up now to somewhere 14-15 wides, and if they had got half those scores, Oisin, they'd be well out the gap here.
I see some of the Blarney fans have made their way behind the goal, the Blarney Ultras as we'll call them. Average age of about 8 back there. It's a club that's growing all the time. They seem to be doing things the right way. Kanturk the same, and here is their fullback Ryan Walsh. Does go around the pitch and go to where he's needed, doesn't always just kind of hang around full back. Of course, this is his first proper season there. What a weaving run that is by Ryan Walsh. He's still going. Ryan Walsh, great pass, finished beautifully. Colin Walsh finishes the run of Ryan Walsh.
What a great goal. And Ryan Walsh, you say, he pops up where he's needed, and obviously Kanturk made a decision at half time that they needed him further up the field because he wasn't really involved in the game at full back. Took on the defenders, took on Blarney. We won't say walls through, but got through 2 or 3 defenders, kept on going, played the ball over the head, eventually found a great pass to Aidan Walsh, and Aidan buried it. Great goal, and a goal that Kanturk needed.
What a finish that was. Tucked away by Colin Walsh. Brilliant finish.
Was it Colin or Aidan finished it?
It was Colin.
Colin finished
I can understand the confusion because
the numbers are so hard to see.
The numbers are very hard to see. It's dark, and I've got the replays in front of me here. What we're seeing live is not what you're seeing at home, by the way. We don't have the benefit of your kind of zoomed in camera angle. So if on occasion we're not sure who's on the ball on the far side, I do apologise.
No matter which Walsh it was obvious. It was a brilliant finish. Great goal.
Yep. Colin Walsh tucked it away. Ryan Walsh, what a run. Now, the cynical cornerback in me is asking why wasn't he taken down? And just to remind people, the inter-county rules are different. You can take a guy down and give away a free and not give away a penalty, even if it looks like it's going to be a goal chance. Yeah, that's the rule at club.
That is the rule as well, as you say. That is the rule that there's no. It's only just a free. Free. There's no black card for 10 minutes or something if that doesn't happen. But I don't know. Too sure if you know Ryan Walsh, Oisin. He's a fair man when he starts running at you. He's a big man, and again, he's very elusive and easier said than done maybe to try to take him down.
There's a saying, don't step between a hippo and the water.
You
so
said
you
that.
Can imagine if a hippo could hurl, that'd be Ryan Walsh.
Oh, it was an excellent run by Ryan Walsh, as you say. He turned up in different positions. It was a new position for him to put him back full back, but certainly Kanturk look a better side with him out in the middle of the field. His work rate alone, and he's made a difference there early in the second half.
It's his first year as a fullback, as we were saying. He had been a forward, had been in midfield, played for that Cork under-21 team that reached the All-Ireland final a couple of years ago. They were beaten by Tipperary. His quality is very, very obvious. That's a wonderful stick pass. Aidan Walsh taking off. Colin probing again. Aidan will take it on himself, and Aidan puts it over. They're cooking nicely now.
Excellent score. Again, all came from a great delivery from Darren Brown. Spotted Aidan Walsh was free over on the far side. Aidan won the ball, turned, and even though he was under pressure from the defenders to strike it, from Adam McAvoy, turned and put the ball over the bar. A good score for Kanturk again.
It's one of the most beautiful sights in hurling, watching Aidan Walsh run and strike a point from longish range, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd be happy enough with that. That's his. I think that's his second score of the game. Aidan would be hoping to have a big involvement at this level. Like he's obviously Kanturk's leader, is their main man that they've looked for over the years. To when the going gets tough and we go down the wire, he's the standout player that they look for. So again, gone out to the left wing, won a great ball, and off his favourite right side struck a good score, and to put Kanturk now 3 points ahead. Chance here to go 4 ahead.
It's Brian O'Sullivan who'll strike it. Kieran O'Regan, the official on the far side there, also does the music, the PA announcing and all that in Porky Queeve. Brian O'Sullivan puts it over. 4 between them all of a sudden.
All of a sudden you're looking at Blarney, we're 2 or 3, 3 points ahead or 2 points ahead at half time, and then but certainly Kanturk have come out in the second half, and I think the switch of Ryan Walsh to midfield certainly has made a difference, and Blarney making a substitution. But all of a sudden the game has gone from Blarney being 2 points ahead to now 4 points down. 6 points turnaround in 10 minutes.
And that wide count becomes more of an issue for Blarney as it's sucked up again by Ian Walsh, and Ian Walsh hits it wide. I have to say I wasn't sure of.
I think that umpire takes his time to make a decision. We're kind of waiting here for 2 or 3 seconds as to whether it's gone over or it's gone wide, but unlucky. Good turnover again by Kanturk, and Ian Walsh unlucky with that shot.
Paul Hallisey launches that one. It's going to fall kindly for Kanturk. Popped out to Brian O'Sullivan. Always looks like he's got time on the ball. Ryan Walsh this time lets the ball do the work. Aiming again towards Colin Walsh. Colin Walsh making it stick inside. Blarney have got it, but they have to work really hard to get this one clear. Here's Alan McAvoy. Aiming into the corner, chasing after it as the new man in. That's Owen Kirby. And he's dispossessed. He was always going to struggle to get clean possession there when 2 Kanturk defenders converged on him. McSweeney. Turned over again by Kanturk. Their strength is beginning to tell. They're winning dirty ball, they're getting turnovers, but just as I say that, Shane Barrett collects it for Blarney, tries a long range one. It was blocked down wonderfully by Paul Walsh. Now it's Paddy Power again. Paddy Power harassed by Paul Walsh. Kanturk not giving Blarney an inch, not giving them a second. It's 1-on-2 inside in favour of Blarney. And the Kanturk man has to use his footballing skills, and of course they are a club that have footballing skills. In or around, as we say, 12 players playing both for the footballers and the hurlers. Here's Aidan Walsh. Hits it wide. Well, Owen Kirby has come in for Blarney. Still a student, he is a serious prospect. Has played a bit of underage with Cork, played in an under-16 All-Ireland final a couple of years ago. Scored 2-8 in that game.
Oh yeah, we're claiming that there's a bit of Bars blood in him there, Doishin as well. His granddad, with Back Kirby, played with the Bars for a long number of years. He was from Kerry, but gave great service to the Bars, and it's great to see young Kirby come on here now and do so well. But certainly, as you say, Kanturk's strength, especially in the half-back line. I think the move, again, I keep repeating myself, of Ryan Walsh out in the pitch, out to the midfield, seems to have got a foothold in that half-back line. And certainly Blarney are having to play the ball out to the wings to keep the ball away from Darren Brown as the sweeper. But again, they're gone 4 down. An important point here now. The free maybe coming up to the water break. They need to get a score to settle them in. They've had no score in the second half so far, so they need Mark Coleman to top this one over the bar.
Well, this would bring it back to a 3-point game and a very manageable debt. The championship quarter, as they call it in Aussie rules, the third quarter. Mark Coleman gets a vital score for Blarney for all the dominance Kanturk have had, they're only 3 points ahead. Conditions perfect for hurling in Mallow tonight. Blarney go searching, running back as Lorcan O'Neill, sliding into it. Too many Blarney men back there. That wasn't a particularly good use of the sliotar. Blarney will go through the lines. Here's Mark O'Leary. O'Leary from a long way out. O'Leary lands a perfect score.
That was one that Blarney needed very badly, Oisín, that they've been struggling with Kanturk again, hitting a ball aimlessly into their forward line with Blackrock, and Blarney with an extra man inside there got the ball to Mark O'Leary, and again a long range shot that got over the bar, brings it back to 2.
It's a real battle. The way these two teams are playing it, you'd swear it was knockout. Of course it's not, and either way no one goes out tonight if they win, lose or draw, but that's not the way these teams have approached this game. Good ball into the corner. Ian Walsh stuck to him as Paul O'Leary. And it's a line ball to Blarney. Good defending by the fullback Paul O'Leary.
Yeah, he's finding Colin Walsh a real handful tonight. Young Colin is very good in the air and can cause problems, but Paul is handling really well. Other than the goal, he's kept a tight rein on him.
And congratulations to Paul O'Leary and his other half. They had a baby last week.
Oh, excellent!
Busy time for him.
Great news.
No wonder he had to step back from the management.
Yeah, interesting that Don Romani from Christians and from Cork under 20 fame is involved with Blarney this year. I think he's living out that part of the world, and good to see Don get involved. But again, Blarney need to get Coleman, need to get Paddy Power, need to get Shane Barrett into the game. They're in the game sporadically. They're not dominating the game. I'm just wondering at this stage would a move from Coleman back into the half back line serve them better, where he can get on the ball with having the spare man inside there, and maybe might be better if you got him on the ball, that he might be able to use the ball better.
Aidan Walsh. Can he mark Coleman this one over? No, he can't. He didn't catch it right. But there's still a chance there for Kanturk. Good save, straight into the hand of Paul Hallisey. But there was a lot of bodies between him and the striker, so it was a difficult one to take. It wasn't an easy save. Ryan Walsh gets it outside to Lorcan O'Neill. Kanturk coming again. Ryan Walsh created a goal a couple of minutes ago and doesn't get a point right now. And we have the water break on 17 minutes and 17 seconds and a tight game. 1-11 Kanturk, 12 points Blarney. Ger, you'd be a brave man to call it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call. As you say, we're expecting a tight game. Great save there by Paul Hallisey. Caught a really good ball. Ryan Walsh should be very disappointed there. Came off the shoulder, as Kanturk like to do when they get the ball. But again, sailed off wide at the same size that he struck the ball. So he'll be very disappointed with that. It's not an easy one to call. I think Kanturk had a very good 15 minutes there or 17 minutes since half time. They're now 1-11. They've scored 1-3 in that quarter to Blarney's 2 points, so they'll be happy with that turnaround. Difficult one to call. I think Blarney or Kanturk they've certainly got a foothold around the half back line in midfield, and their big players are now beginning to come into the game. As I say with Blarney, they need to see more of Barrett. They need to see more of Power. But again, at some stage they may have to consider the Blarney forwards are playing against an extra defender, and definitely Power and Barrett are finding it difficult to get on the ball. Similar for Coleman out around the middle of the field. Ryan Walsh is out there. There's plenty of bodies out there. He's not on the ball as much as maybe Blarney would like, and I'd say maybe a change of role there, with maybe swapping with the Blarney centre back, with Philpott might go midfield and Coleman to do the sweeping role, or even push him up into the forward line. But maybe at some stage in the game, if the game begins to go away from them, they may look at that.
Don't forget, tomorrow we've got St Finbarr's against Erin's Own live via the Irish Examiner, that in the Co-op Superstores Premier Senior Hurling Championship. Both of those teams starting with a win last week, so they're going in good form.
Yeah, a bit like tonight, both teams again looking for the opportunity here. They both see an opportunity. As you say, there's every possible chance that both of these teams could come out of the group, but with the opportunity of going further, or maybe opportunity to go into the semi-final, great opportunity for both teams now at this stage for the last quarter, or the last 15 minutes here, take the game by the scruff of the neck and go on and try win it.
There is, of course, a Premier Senior Hurling Championship match going on at the moment. We'll try and get you the score of that shortly. But there's so much going on the pitch, you don't want to take your eyes off it. You don't want to put your eyes down onto the phone because you might miss something. Here's Lorcan McLaughlin. Can Kanturk open them up? It's the goal scorer, Colin Walsh. Little jinx there from Brian O'Sullivan. He's done well scoring-wise from frees. And that's a good one from play.
That's Brian's first point from play. He scored 5 from frees and now he's got a 6 point from play. Really good play there between the Kanturk's leaders, between Aidan Walsh, Ryan Walsh, Lorcan McLaughlin. Get the ball to Brian Sullivan, and a very good score, and again opens up a 3 point lead for Kanturk.
Kanturk go long. Straight to Pops Crowley though. Has an option. Good ball. Shane Barrett. That was risky when there were so many bodies around, but Griffin has picked it up and wins the free. He kind of ran into the shoulder rather than receiving the shoulder there.
He did. It was lucky free to get. He just ran into it. He kind of drew the free more than anything else. But again, Shane Barrett looking to offload the ball, went inside onto his right side. But a lot of Kanturk bodies, and as you say, played a kind of at best a 50-50 ball into young Kirby, who did well to draw the free. So again, Blarney hanging in there more or less by frees than anything else at this stage. There seem to be their scoring rate from play has dropped considerably, and they need Coleman to put this over the bar to keep them in touch.
Mark Coleman puts it over the free one by young Owen Kirby, who's full of running, full of energy. It's exactly what you want from a player coming off the bench. I called him Griffin because I confused him with one of the other subs, John Tweak Griffin from Kerry, who's on the bench, but he's 20 rather than 21. Swatted at in the air, it's collected. O'Sullivan is free. He wasn't free for long, he was covered well by McSweeney. Gets it back. Just struggling to get that ball into the hand. Really tight marking, really good defending. And then they lose it on the way out. Great work from Ian Walsh to get it back. Bit of a loose one then in towards the forward line. It's collected by Hallisey. Hallisey has to be really careful here. It was almost like a pantomime. He's behind you.
Wow.
Blarney have secured the possession. Just as I say that, they lose it. It's pulled on, chasing after it, I think, is Paul Walsh. Intercepting it is Hegarty. Kanturk have it back. No one wants to keep the sliotar. It's a little bit loose. That's a defender's ball all day long. And I was about to say a clever pull. It's only clever if it works out, which it does towards Kirby. Kirby did his best to try and get it into the hand, but couldn't. Was that a foul? The crowd think it was. Blarney have it back. On such things, games can turn. It just falls off the hurley there of Colin Murphy. It's a little bit loose, but it does work out. Liam O'Keefe. O'Keefe puts on the afterburners. O'Keefe loses it, trying to get it as Colin Walsh. He has got it. Colin Walsh, it might open up for him. He spills it. It's just so intense out there, isn't it?
A bit like ping pong. Both teams trying to win possession. Certainly Kanturk are playing a give and go game, that they're running the ball through the lines and trying to create the opportunities. Again, Blarney are in a situation where they're trying to walk the ball up, but they're struggling with the extra man up in defence here. They've very little opportunities here. Shane Barrett and Paddy Powers they can't get enough of their big players on the ball, and Blarney were lucky there not to concede a score. So again, just looking around to see if there's any major switches here that either team will do.
It's a long delivery, just gets away from Power, but now he has it. Power turning and twisting. It just wouldn't quite fall for Colin Murphy, and Kanturk will get it clear. By the way, Middleton have beaten Napiershik 226 to 14 points. Ian Walsh. John Brown. That's going to drop. It's 1-on-1 inside. Batted down, but there was more red than white and green back there. Here's Hallisey. Two players waiting for it. What can they do? Declan Hannon. It's a dropping ball. Power. Couldn't turn his man. Great defending.
I think he tried to do that flick again that he did early on in the game, Oisin, to try to play, just to flick the ball past the defender, but he wasn't able to do that. And again, Kanturk come out with the ball. And here's Ryan Walsh again, making one of those long bursting runs that have made a difference in the second half.
That's going to be intercepted.
Again, one of the controversial ones. Cathal McAllister had his hand up for a free, and I think Kanturk were looking for it, and there was no advantage came off it.
Hannon lets fly, but I think that's going to go wide. It does go wide. Two between them. And about 7 minutes plus injury time left.
I think certainly Blarney will look back in the video of this game afterwards. Oisin will certainly look at the scoring situation. That I think they're up to 15 or 16 wides at this stage. And in a tight game like this, all these opportunities they need to be taking these.
Alan Walsh has come in. He's replaced Colin Walsh. There's a change also on the Blarney side. Costello has gone off. I'm not quite sure who's come on, but we'll clarify that in a second. It's all happening in Mallow. Shane Barrett. That's a really good ball out in front for Ray Murphy to run onto. Ray Murphy looks up. They're trying to create a scoring chance here. Maybe sometimes they're just better off to shoot, but then again their wide count has been high, so hard to know what to do. If that goes over, it's an unbelievable score, but it doesn't, and it's not kept in play by Alan Walsh, who's come on.
Again, a poor shot selection there from Kanturk, out on the sideline on the 21-yard line. Again, the chance of those shots going over, maybe better off. Actually, Alan Walsh had got into the full forward line, and maybe a ball in front of him might have been a better option, because Alan is quite similar to Colin, both big men, both unorthodox and both a handful.
Alan Walsh is the fourth of the Walsh brothers, just in case you were wondering. He's a student at CIT at the moment. Ball over the top on the chase after it is Alan McAvoy. He's getting a little bit of support now from Ray Murphy. Murphy again with that crossfielder, but it's backwards this time, and they have secured the possession, and it's Mark Coleman. He's a man you'd want on the ball in this position. And that's why.
That's an excellent score for him. Working hard, the ball out, and I think he's after moving into the half-forward line, Oisin, that trying to get more scoring threat up in the forward line. Blarney may have pushed him up the field, and he's now got on his second ball in a short space of time. Scored the first one, fouled this time, and has the opportunity here now to put the teams level with 3 minutes to go.
Well, at this stage of a Gaelic football or hurling match or camogie match or ladies football match, if it's this tight, I start to wonder, is there extra time or do we come back again straight away? None of those things are relevant tonight because it's a group stage match.
Yeah, even both teams might even be happy with a point at this stage, because it keeps them nicely ticking over before they go into the last game of the group stages.
Coleman. It's wide.
That's a poor miss from Mark Coleman there, Oisin. Like again, 45 metres out, right hand side. You would expect the player Mark Coleman's ability to put that over the bar, but he just seemed to pull it wide. That again, the wides are adding up. 16 or 17 wides now at this stage.
A busy weekend of hurling in Cork already in the Premier Senior Hurling Championship. Middleton have beaten the Piershig. Are we to have a winner here tonight, or will it be a draw? That's a lovely step inside. Is it to be finished off? Ball goes loose. Blarney desperate to get it back, and they have.
That's great defending from Coleman again on Lough McLaughlin. Waited his opportunity, went for Lough to play the ball on the hurley and then turned him over.
That was a good stick pass from Phil Patton, another man in the Blarney team who's got strong St Finbarr's connections.
He sure has. His dad Damien gave great service to the Bars and was a great player for the Bars club. Chance here,
Will this break for Padraig Power? Power has levelled it up. Great score by Paddy Power.
Again, Paddy Power at this stage 4 points, but is playing off scraps. They can't get him on the ball enough. There's a man playing in front of him, but again, once he got possession off the back foot, great score over the bar. Teams level, minute to go.
Paddy Power, who likes to do it on the big stage, was a man of the match in an under-20 All-Ireland final. He's studying in UCC. No doubt he'll be knocking on your door for the Fitzgibbon, although I'm not sure if he's in first year or second year. Obviously, if he's in first year, he can't play Fitzgibbon. If this goes over, it puts Blarney in front, and it would be a wonderful way to go in front, but it's gone wide.
Unlucky effort there from Dennis McSweeney from a long way out. It looked like Shane Barrett had a chance earlier on, but got defended very well. So the last chance both teams now are. He's given a line ball to Kanturk.
Aidan Walsh can hit them from this kind of range. Brian O'Sullivan as well.
Yeah, he didn't come anywhere near it. Aidan Walsh turned away. He's had 3 or 4 attempts. Wasn't striking him well tonight, and he's left this one to Brian O'Sullivan. Will they try work a short one?
It's been a tight and enthralling encounter at this wonderful venue, where they've looked after us very well, by the way. Peter Philpott. It breaks, but to a Kanturk man, and that man is Darren Brown, who's fouled on the way out, and it's a free for Kanturk from a central enough area, so they might go for it from here.
Brian O'Sullivan is jogging back from his, he was in the half-forward line, heading back to his own inside, just outside his own, between his own 45-metre line and 65-metre line. No doubt in the past number of years, Anthony Nash would have been coming out to take the frees from this length of area, from this length of the pitch. Brian O'Sullivan a chance. The clock has ticked we're a half a minute into injury time. The linesman telling him where to go. It's right between the 45 and the 65-metre line.
And not a puff of breeze.
Not a puff of breeze. Big chance here if he keeps it on target. He should have the distance. If he can strike it on the sweet spot, it could go over.
And it could be the winner if it does. Brian O'Sullivan, who's been excellent tonight. I think it has the legs.
Doesn't like it.
Well, Alan Walsh tried to keep it on play and couldn't. It goes down as a wide. Have we time for one more twist in this game? Alan McAvoy. Just doesn't quite stick to the hand of Shane Barrett. Can Turk have it back? Barrett then wins it. Owen Kirby threw himself in there. Now it's Ray Murphy, who started in midfield last year for Blarney. He's playing more in a forward position tonight. There's a real scramble on there. Aidan Walsh thought he had got it into hand, sealing away Shane Barrett. Can he get the time and space for a shot? No, but he does get the time and space for a pass. It's Hegarty who goes inside. Ray Murphy. Oh, he was smothered. It'll break for Kanturk. That could be that. Lorcan McLaughlin. Can Kanturk work it up to a shooting position? Trying to run onto it there was Alan Sheehy. It's still Kanturk possession. Alan Walsh is a bit isolated at full forward. That one from a long way out. That one has gone wide. And we'll have to go again. They went quick to
2.5 minutes injury time. We're beginning to wonder where he's getting the time from here. Oisin, great chance there for Aidan Walsh to blow over the bar. Shane Barrett also had a chance but dropped the ball, got it back, and the ball seemed to be ping-ponging around in the middle of the field. Kanturk overplaying the ball a small bit, had a chance to get the ball down into the forward line. Is there one last chance in the game?
This one impossible to call coming into it. Now you know why. That's it, the full-time whistle goes. It's a draw between Kanturk and Blarney. Everybody's happy and nobody's happy.
Yeah, I'd say both teams will look at this, Oisin, and look back and say with both sides had opportunities to win the game. Blarney, I think, not sure of the final wide count, but again had opportunities. Their shooting boots were left in Blarney tonight. Again, Kanturk went ahead 3 or 4 points up halfway through the second half. Will be disappointed not to see the game out, but Blarney, I think, just getting the figures here that we had 18 wides for Blarney and 14 for Kanturk. So both teams disappointed with their shooting tonight. Both sides with an opportunity to win the game. But as you say, both teams having won their first games, now having drawn the second games, it really it ties it up nicely for the games in a couple of weeks' time, where they'll both see an opportunity to qualify for the next round.
Well, they're both on 3 points each in the group after tonight, because they both won their opening matches for Moy and Ban and the other two teams in the group who will meet this weekend. When you're a Waterford hurling fan, you always have to kind of concentrate on the positive of things. So that's what I'm going to do now. Will they both be happy that when it was really not going well, And they both had periods in the match when it wasn't going well. They hung on in there. They found a way to stay in the game.
Yeah, both teams will go back and they'll look at the video and they'll see, okay, look, initially a kind of a draw is always a situation where you're not sure whether you're happy that you haven't lost or you're disappointed that you haven't won. So they'll go back and they'll look at it. It's the second game in the group stage. They're still unbeaten, and both sides at different times of the game will look at to say we had opportunities to win the game. Again, going back to Blarney, they had probably more opportunities to win the game. To be disappointed that they probably didn't, but again, Kanturk will be looking at the same situation. Went 3 points up halfway through the second half, had opportunities. Again, last ball there out in the wing. They seem to have a tactic in the second half of a lot of the play was over on the left-hand side of having a loose player over on the side and at different times. And Aidan Walsh, had a chance. I think it was Aidan at the end. Hard to see the Kanturk jerseys. The numbers are hard to see on the far side of the pitch from us here.
Yeah, I think we weren't seeing what you were seeing at home. We were watching it as it happened, as if you were here, if that makes sense. If you were in the ground, you wouldn't have had the monitor, you wouldn't have had the close-up shots that you had at home, but we didn't see here. So it was tough to tell who was who on that far side. Yeah,
I'd say overall in the second half, I'd say Kanturk definitely came out in the second half, played the better hurling for the first quarter of an hour, and I suppose overall in the second half, if they were to look back in the game, would feel maybe an opportunity that they left behind. Blarney in the first half were probably the better side. It took them 5 or 6 minutes to settle down. They had a couple of poor wides, which was probably indicative of what was going to come for the rest of the game. But overall, I suppose two teams going away looking at it tonight. They have 3 points from 2 games, and I'd say both teams will be reasonably happy at the end of it.
Okay, well, that's where we'll end it. Ger Cunningham, thank you very much. Best of luck to you and the 2 lads tomorrow in St. Finbarr's. Take you on Erin's Own. It's on at 7:30. It's live on the Irish Examiner. Coverage starts at 7:10. They throw in at 7:30, and it will be Mark Landers and Patrick Mulcahy who will be bringing you that game. I hope it's as exciting as this match. I'm not sure you'd call it an overly high quality match. It had qualities, that's for sure and certain, but it wasn't what you'd call the most free-flowing, beautiful game of hurling. But that doesn't mean it was bad, because dogging it out and winning the dirty ball and doing it when you need to, that's part of the game as well. There was also a match tonight in the Premier Senior Hurling Championship. That was won by Middleton. They beat Napiershig comfortably enough in the end, as you might expect, 226 to 14 points. In the Intermediate A Hurling Championship, Kildorrery beat Melan 112 to 18. So they'll be happy in Kildorrery tonight, which is good, because I have to pass back through there on the way home, so it'll be a pleasant journey. Right, thank you for watching. Don't forget, as we say, tomorrow we're back at 7:10 for St. Finbarr's against Erin's Own. That'll be a good one. Finbarr's looking to bounce back from what was a poor year last year. Erin's Own looking to drive on from what was an excellent year last year, and of course a great start to the championship for them, beating the champions Blackrock. They're on air at 7:10. The game itself throws in at 7:30, and of course we'll be covering everything else that's happening in the Cork Championship across all grades through the Irish Examiner, be it the website, be it social, be it the actual paper itself. You won't miss a trick with the Irish Examiner. Ger Cunningham, thank you very much. It's all over here in Mallow. The final score of this Co-op Superstores Senior A Championship encounter: Kanturk 112, Blarney 15 points. Thank you and good night.